Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to sum up about what the four speakers have been sharing to us. Now, the four speakers have similar concern in the sense that we are facing a changing world. The changes are so fast that sometimes we are overwhelmed with these changes. Now, as we are in the higher education, we need also to change, and to borrow Professor Jacob Chan saying that to turn these challenges into solutions. So the first speakers offer the form of the sharing of the university resources so that to lower the cost of education in the form of the assembly university system. The second speaker offered to the use of the open platform and to insert technology such as MOOC to the massive open online courses to leave the traditional location-based education and to embrace the new technology. The third speaker said that, yes, all of those things are important, but we also need to pay attention to the development of the human quality and offer the whole person education and holistic education to combine the mind and the heart. And the last speaker, and the fourth speaker, is talking about the sustainable education to meet the digital transformative world and the changing of context of business. It should transform also to be responding also to the context of education. So the university should be the catalyst for innovation and change. I hope I sum up all the essence of your sharing this morning. So can we go to the open question and answer session? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to open the session for question and answer. Now, I will give this side of the room to 3 questions first, and then we are going to have the later one, the other question to this part of the room. Please mention your name and the institution you are, where you are from, and to which speaker that you would like to address your question.
I'm Benny from Sukiya Pranata Catholic University, Semarang of Indonesia. Actually, my question addressed to, I don't know, one of you, either one of you, or you can also give a comment of my questions. On the first hand, you know, our world start to cooperate or work in a cooperative manners towards each other to do a crowd sharing, crowdsourcing, crowd knowledge, and anything that related to the cooperations. But on the other hand, the universities, we are now, right now, keep busy in upgrading our ranking systems, upgrading our accreditations, in which, by doing so, we start to compete against each other rather than cooperate against each other. Secondly, by doing so as well, we start, instead of try to focusing on our own competency, we align ourselves into a more uniformity. Otherwise, the ranking systems, the accreditations cannot be materialized if we are not being standardized or uniform. So how do you reconcile those 2 different words into one particular vision and mission of our university? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Johanna from Ukrida, Jakarta. I have one question. All of the speakers seem like talking about the future knowledge, the future discipline is engineering. Is that right? If it is so, how about the social science? I saw it will be humanities. But then again, should we, from social sciences, change everything to engineering, like social engineering, behavioral engineering, and so on? Maybe we can merge or like a wedding, like a marriage between social sciences and engineering. Is that so in the future? Thank you.
Okay. One more questions, maybe? Okay.
Hi, my name is Sarwar Jahan. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm the founder of Southern University, and I'm also working for 3 other universities as a founder. I have one question to the panel, or especially from the Malaysia and from the South Korea. You are talking about the online education, future education, online education, all the good things, those things. But are you thinking how to implement that? We all are here to collaboration for the networking, but how can we effectively manage those things? Also, there's earlier, the Honorable Secretary mentioned that in Indonesia, higher education are very highly regulated, but they have the flexibility. I don't know how it will work together. Country like us, we have tremendous control higher education. If we want the online education, it's not easy. We have to get permission from the government. And in our country, it's not access to all. Are you working, my question is to you, as a forum, as a panel discussion, and as the organizer of the AUPF, are you going to work for the government level, top level, for implementation? Otherwise, this talking, this innovation, this thinking will not work. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. First question. I know that always we mention about QS, about ranking, you know. In Malaysia also, when I'm the advisor to minister, we are more focused on the QS ranking. But now the new government also, under the Minister of Higher Education, said we are not focused on the ranking, but we also focus more on the humanity. Okay, as a former Vice Chancellor, you know, we are not focused more on the ranking. But the important thing as a university, you must see about the indicators. The indicator to become the good university in the world under the QS or time higher education. Example, academic reputation. Academic reputation is, let's say, 30%. Then how you can promote your university academically and also research. This is our games in university, not because of ranking. Then in UNIMED, example, Datuk Zul also here, we are now focused to, in Asia, from now, our QS ranking in Asia from 221, now 201, become number 201. In Malaysia, like University Malaya, you know, although we are not focused on QS now, but because of the movement, all the university, research university, now they are from 14 position to 21 position to 14 position. Okay, the second one, we are focused more on the internalization, how the ratio of the student international in our university. This is important. The second one, the faculty also. The faculty must have the international lecturer, because if you don't have, then we are problem. Because although we are more focused on our people from Malaysia or Korea, everything, but you must get the international, the professor overseas that can leapfrog your university. That one question. The second one about the social. We know we are all engineers here, except our Professor Jacob Chang. Correct. Engineer, I'm also, plus science and engineering. Yeah, we are never, focus on engineering, especially when we are in UNIMAP, we blend with business school with engineering. We call engineering entrepreneurship. Because if you only focus on entrepreneurship, no substance, nothing is there, then how you can promote your business? That's why very important, you must marry between science, engineering, with social science, humanity. Then, under IR 4.0, we are not only focused on the robot, but important thing, the people, how to humanize people to follow very drastic about the technology for future. Thank you very much.
Okay, probably first I would like to address my answer to the first question from Dr. Benny Sugyopranata. Yes, this is dilemma for the university. In one side, we would like to increase or upgrade our ranking system, but in the other side, that we still have to think about our mission as education, higher education, something like that. So actually now I have a one, maybe I can say a good model for this one. I learned from one university, one university in Hong Kong. Its name is China University of Hong Kong. It's a big university. It's a very big university. But you can see that China University of Hong Kong is also considered as a liberal arts education or university. As we know that in my case, when I propose in my presentation, I think the whole present education is one of the, maybe it's not one, but maybe the only one good solution for, let's say, in order to process our student to be success in the future, because we think that we have to process as a whole. It's not their mind only. So what happened in the China University of Hong Kong, first they are the liberal arts education. So you know liberal arts education should be the small one, because we have to take care of our student. All the students have to stay in the dormitory, something like that. And if we only have a small university, it's impossible for us to be the big university. That means about the ranking, we have a struggle about that one. There is no small university have a high ranking, because if you look at the ranking system, most of them is based on the publication. So a small university cannot have a big or many publication, because they also have a small faculty member for that one. So what happened in the China University of Hong Kong, they divided their students into the small colleges, and every college, they have no more than 3,000 students. So talking about the whole person education is the process in the colleges. For example, let's say I enter the China University of Hong Kong as the computer science student. And my friends, Datuk Komarudin, is also enter the same university, also the same major, the same department, computer science. I probably will be in the Chung Chi College, but my friend, Dr. Datuk Komarudin, will be in the New Asia College, something like that. So for the whole person education, I will be processed in the Chung Chi College, and he will be processed in the New Asia. But let's say when we take the computer science courses, we will take it together. But for the general education, all of our courses, let's say for the whole person education, we will take in our college, something like that. So I think this is the good example or good model in order to achieve, first talking about the rankings, yeah, in order to get the higher ranking university, and the other things is for the education system. So maybe this is one of my solution for this one.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank for all these three questions. I think they are very important, and in fact I can say they are key questions. So coming for the first one, I can say like that one. All over the world, in each universities, it is the same question and the same problem. It does not only exist here in Indonesia or any place in Asia, but also it is everywhere, in Europe, Africa, Europe, America, and other countries. It is the same. Why? This is what I said to you. The globe is flat. It is a result of the globalization. So in fact, we are also a subject of standardization. For example, in Europe, we have a European education system. So we created some years ago a European credit transfer system. So it means, that students are available, to work from one university to another to collect, some courses, to pass the exams, and finally they are coming home, and they achieve, the diploma of the first, second, or third level of study. So it's system. So it means that inside that system, it is also some context touching, to the profile of the future student and other items. So I can say, that trying to answer for your question, it is, from one hand, it's a secret of the management of any institution or university. Why? Because it's necessary to meet with all indicators, which firstly it is presented through the local government, but also from the global market. The global market, they are indicators with which we must meet. Why I said, with the local government? Because mostly education at home is sponsored or supported heavily through the public money. So, in fact, it's necessary to understand that if you are on the higher level, and also if you are the rector of the university, always it is a question how to share the money which do you have in the proper way and to create something what will be beneficial. So, it is a secret, of the management board of each university, how, and it is, another element, to inspire your staff members to help you to meet with this indicator, which is necessary also to meet, to be ranking it in some place, locally, on the national or international level, So it's not easy, and it's necessary to be open. It's necessary to discuss with the people from the various countries and various universities and share, the knowledge, practice, because through that, it's possible, to achieve the local added value. But what Professor said, it is very important, and it is what we are observing today in Europe. And many of the universities, they are merged together. So it means, it's not time for the small university. So thousands or dozen thousands, it is, the figure. Why? First, to be better recognized on the international level, publication. You have more internal talents. I'm talking about the staff, but also, you can to select a Braille or students, etc. You can to reduce cost, especially in engineering. The cost to the infrastructure is very high. So it means, that it's necessary to have a lot of money, to cover the cost of the equipment or materials or others which is necessary, to provide for any research and also for the education. So it is the problem. There is not local, it is widely problem. Second question, I think it was Madam from Jakarta, yeah? I think it's very interesting. I tell you a story. Some years ago, it was 10 or 15 years ago, because we have been purely engineering-oriented institution. And now, we have a faculty of humanistic. So it means sociology, psychology, and other elements touching, to the human exist inside. Of course, we have also the management and other faculty, etc. And everything touching, to the human, they are very important, especially for the engineer, especially today. Why? Because when we are talking about the automation, robotics, biomedicine, or Internet of Things and others, it's necessary, to better understand a human behavior. Because in fact, many of the results, or anyway, today technology, it is a quasi-copy of the human nature behavior or feature. So, for example, I'm sure everybody have mobile phones, yeah? So you are feeling a personification. So personification is coming, from the human behavior. For example, we are talking about the new control system. We are using the artificial intelligence, but also many of the control languages we are using today, they are based, or the background, foundations, they are coming, from the philosophy, sociology, and also from the over humanistic-oriented fields. So, to work together and bridging humanistic field of education and life with the engineering is crucial for the future development, especially when we are talking about the digital era. Why? It's a good question. We see today many of the examples that people have a problem to discuss with each other because they have a sociological problem. So how to solve that one? So now it is another very fashionable, way of thinking, which I presented you also during my presentation. Human-centered manufacturing or human-centered engineering business. So it means still you are trying to underline that engineering technology is crucial, but human must be inside, and we are always the best, and we are playing, the crucial position. Coming to the last question. So, in fact, to work and to talk with the government, always especially into the touching to the education, is important, because somebody is create a law, and somebody support financially the education system. So, in fact, it must be the joint interaction. So, the information must flow from the bottom, but from the upper level, and only through that discussion it's possible, to achieve better, acceptable on the national level education system. Thank you.
Going back to the first question, the dilemma between competition and cooperation. I think this is also my dilemma as well. But there is a time to compete and there is a time to cooperate. I think in this era, this is the time to cooperate to compete better. Actually, I don't really believe in university rankings because the ranking system, they are basically focused on traditional way of teaching or researching. But in the era of innovative society like this, in the era of a fourth industrial revolution, we should have a new set of evaluation measures. How can you measure or evaluate the most innovative university in the world. For example, as I mentioned in my presentation, university like Minerva University, is nowadays it's really harder to get in than the Harvard nowadays, and they accept only 1.9% of applicants. But still, according to what's the name of the famous ranking system? Yeah, I don't really care, but those companies, they rate Minerva University very low because never heard of the university. It was built less than 20 years. So I don't think that's the kind of a fair way of evaluating universities. When you think about the business world, the top companies nowadays, like Google, Apple, and Amazon, they all built less than 20 years, but they are top-ranking companies in the world. But in the university area, I don't know why all the universities are considered better than those of the young universities. So I think we need to redefine the importance of the ranking. And also going back to the how to combine social sciences with engineering, that's a very tough question. Let me explain what we do at Dongsu University in Korea. We set a goal. For example, there is a very renowned design contest called the Red Dot Award in Berlin, Germany. So in that, to target this Red Dot award, we form a kind of class. So we gather some students from engineering department and also from the social science department and also design department. They work together for 1 semester. So from the engineering point of view, our students are contributing some aspect from engineering background, and also some students are from the design background. So they work together. Sometimes at the beginning, they really argue a lot, and they even sometimes fight each other. But at the end, they come up with very good product design. So this year, our students got the best Red Dot Award. So they went to Berlin to attend the ceremony. So by doing that, we can practice how to combine these two different areas together. The final question is about the government regulation. So that's a problem. It's like a business world. The companies are looking for the most deregulated the market. The lower the trade barrier, the more you have a better more economic activities if you lower the barriers. That's why I was thinking about establishing a new type of assembly university system in Malaysia. In Malaysia, it's relatively deregulated market for higher education. For example, Uber. Uber is a very global company, but their headquarters is not in the U.S. They set up their headquarters in Virgin Island because tax rate is very low and everything is very free there. So they set up their headquarters in Virgin Island, but they're operating globally. So I think in order to establish a new type of university, alliance kind of system, I think we should look for a place, the least regulated market in the world. So far I found Malaysia is the place to consider. Yeah.
Thank you. The second session I'll open the question to this side. Is there any questions?
Thank you. I would like introduce myself. My name Santoso Bejo from Unisula Semarang. I would like to ask to Professor from DSU, Rob Dongsu. Yes. Based on your statement, totally I'm agree. So I have the further question. can we develop our own indicator to make our rank, develop our indicator, so we can establish our measurement. At least we can propose based on the AUPF specific. So we different, not just good, but different with GS rank that totally based on that you state traditional and competition and so on. So can we develop, can we propose with specific indicator? Thank you.
This gentleman.
Thank you. I am Johannes from Sanata Dharma University, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. First of all, I thank you very much to all speakers who have given us inspiring talk, especially on describing the landscape of our future environment and also our future challenges in higher education, as also described by the founder of Economic Forum. However, my question is like this. Is there any model or strategy to initiate and drive changes in our university? Because sometimes it is quite difficult to initiate change, and it is especially true when we always think that education system is the least reluctant system to change. And maybe it is especially true also for higher education system. Now my question once again is there any model, any strategy so that we could systematically, little by little, change our institution so that we are ready to face up to the challenge and the new environment that will be full of sudden or disruptive change. Thank you.
Is there any, maybe one more question? Okay, one last question.
I am Inga Žalienina from Mykolas Romeris University, Lithuania. I would like to address to President Jakub Chang regarding the idea of Alliance University. I think that this idea is very timely and unique and urgent to implement. We fully support this idea, and a lot of questions, of course, arises. We in Europe, we have Erasmus Plus program, we have Bologna process, and it made a lot for our university system. But I think that when you are thinking about Alliance University, you made an examples of Uber, Airbnb, and its worldwide companies. So I think that the idea of Asian Universities Alliance also should be worldwide and should also allow universities from other regions of the world to be included. Also, I would like to raise a question about quality assurance standards, because it's very important from the beginning to have a consideration, to have the concrete standards for quality assurance of the programs. And also, I want to thank Petra Christian University colleague who was giving a presentation on service learning, and I think that service learning component is also very important for the Alliance, and maybe you have to consider also to include this community service element into the curriculum. And once more, suggestion about businesses, because we all understand that online learning together with face-to-face learning is not enough. We should also, I think, include business companies, worldwide business companies into the Alliance in order to support internship places through all the studies. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 1 and 3 will be answered by Professor Jakub Chang. Number 2 will be answered by Professor Kamarudin.
Thank you for the questions. Too many questions. I'm very hungry now, you know. But anyway, you know, about the new indicators, I really agree with your idea. But very difficult question. Maybe, I don't know whether I'm the right person to be asked about the new indicators, but I think, you know, since we have gatherings from all over Asia, we can come up with our own indicators maybe in the future. You know, we can suggest to a company like QS about, you know, some suggestions to be reflected when they evaluate universities. So that's one of the ways that we can do it. And the second question about any model to initiate changes at the universities. It's very difficult to change universities. And there are professors, and there is history, and you know, how can you change the attitude of our professors? That's the most difficult part, as you can imagine. So what we are doing at the maybe I should stop talking because, you know, is that we are trying to set up a new school within the university to show, you know, what the innovation means. So we are trying now in the stage of establishing a new school within our university, and then we gather the most innovative professors, move them to this new faculty. And then we demonstrate new way of teaching and new way of researching. Then other faculties or other schools within the university can get reference from this new model. That's basically what we are trying to do at our university. Going back to Inga's question, I think thank you very much for your support. And you know, this is not exclusively for Asian students or Asian universities. Any students or any universities who are interested in learning about Asia are welcome to join us, you know. So I'm really grateful that Lithuania and also Poland are participating at the AUPF. And I hope we can open up more to other, continents, like United States or Latin America. You know, we have no participants from there. So I think, you know, it's time to get all the different ideas from different continents to come up with a new model of education. So quality assurance is a very important part. And my thinking is that the newly established, headquarters in Malaysia, the AAU headquarters, they should be responsible for quality control. So when they they have to evaluate all the contents of the GAA and also MOOC system, so that they can offer those courses to prospective students. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I would like to make some comments to that question. For the first question, in my opinion, to generate own APUF indicator, especially focusing for the education, it will be impossible. It's possible to try to suggest something and to make a comment as a result of the position of the reflection of the people coming, from the various places, but to create globally, I'm so sorry, it was very, very difficult because behind there are many resources and also the elements which is necessary to take under the consideration. And also please remember that it is a global system and it's not a local system, and it is not only one touching to the one nation, But anyway, I think, that all comments, they are very welcomed because also in many countries in Europe, but also overseas, under the IFI, IEEE and other engineering association, we start discussion about that one because we are not agree that, it is the best option, the best indicator which we have today. But anyway, some indicator should be, and previously I explained why, but how to create that, what they can to contain is a good question. So always, the discussion about that one, they are very welcomed. Second question on point, I think it is very important today and very interesting. Because if I understood well, your question, it was touching, to if it's possible to create a joint or common model for the helping the change or today or future change, especially into the digital era. And my proposal is, why not, based on the EUPF members, to create the international project which will be focusing to create such a model, but also including, the sustainable development goals. I think it will be possible to create, the better joint cooperation, both of the management, staff, and also students level. But also, it will be possible, to put on the table the internal feature, which everywhere in each institution, country, and knowledge and practice exist. And it will be something very interesting, not only from Asia, but also to other countries all over the world. So it is my suggestion, to the board of the UPF, try thinking why not to create, such international project, and also with the support of the Asian or European or UN funds. Last question, or some comments, because it was several questions. I would like not to comment anything, but it was coming to my mind another word, unification. We can't, or it's danger to unify education. Because if everything it will be equal, it will be any progress and any develop, especially into the research, into the future, and innovation will be frozen. So as a result of the variety, as a result of the sometimes fantastic innovation or dreams of the young generation. So for example, now in Europe, we are supporting very much the startups. So they are the small companies creating, for the young people. We support them with some small money, and after give a freedom show, start to generate a business by yourself, And it's plenty of successful stories, and also they create sometimes which it's difficult to predict, and they are really market and business oriented. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe for me, I only answer the change of the education system. So I think if we talk about our education system, the essence, the content, I think is still the same. Yeah, from the beginning, we'll hope that our students will learn about how to appreciate the dignity of human being, universal values. We still have to consider about this one. If not, then it's a dome for our humanity, something like that. So, for example, if we talk about the education 4.0, we talk about the disruptive innovation. It's only changed our way, how when we would like to deliver the teaching material to our students. Like we can use the online system, we can use an adaptive assessment system and everything, something like that. But the content, I still think that the many things we have to keep, we have to maintain it. This is the first thing. The second one, in order to prepare our students so they can, when they graduate, they can face the rapid change of the world. I think in the future, we need to construct our curriculum that focus on the meta-knowledge rather than the knowledge. What is the difference between meta-knowledge and knowledge? Meta-knowledge is knowledge behind knowledge. Knowledge that can use to gain the knowledge, something like that. This is better, this is more valuable, this is more important than knowledge itself. So this is my opinion for our higher education in order to prepare our students to face the 21st century of the works.
Thank you very much. This second question, how to change university, especially the community in the university. I got experiences in 14 years to develop university from scratch until 2016. Not what I mean. What I have done is the best, but the important thing, the first, as a leader of a university, you must put your heart and soul. Heart and soul. Yeah? Then using the 9 criteria. The first one, 9 criteria, as a leader, you must using your common sense. C, common sense. Second one, bottom up and top bottom. Bottom up and top bottom. Sometimes as a leader in university, you think you are the best. You know, you must get the ideas from the bottom. You work together. Even in UNIMAP, every week, 7 to 8:30, we have the pocho-pocho, aerobic exercise. Because we cross between academician and also the staff. Sometimes academicians don't know about the administration. This creates a problem. Number 3, leading by example. If you are a leader, you must publish paper. You must supervise students. If you just push other staff, then nobody will follow you. That's why I'm using this. Number 4, strategic planning and also KPI must be understand for everybody. Not only you. By using the town hall, you must visit the faculty, the school, everything, get the feedback, using the ICU implementation coordination unit, something like that. And then you must have the recognition. Who publish a paper, give the best grant for them. Just don't push only. You must recognize. Yeah, how you get money? Then this is very important. You must change the business model in the university. And then we are using AIDA, A-I-D-A. AIDA means that A is how you attract people in university to love your university. Attraction. Then when you have attraction, you have interaction. How to interact? Then it comes D, desire. You have a desire. Then the last one, IDA, A is what action we are going to do. Is AIDA. Yeah? Then promotion. In terms of promotion, like social science just now, when we promote the science stream, the engineering, everything, they are using scopus. The Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, then also, this is not good. But for the social science, you must using the Google Scholar, or you must using the ResearchGate to see publication in this. And then for the social science also, we focus more on the writing book, chapter. Then you must give recognition. In UNIMAP, we are not only focus on the academic, on the science stream. A lot of professors also from the arts promote them to become a professor. We are using that. Then the last one, the promotion must use for career path. Not only research is one line. The second one, they are good in to generate money. Then the link with industry. Then it's a good promotion for professor. Number 3, maybe he is from industry, professional. Then we can bring them to become a professor in our university. And then the last one, I think the important thing, you must have the drive with your heart and soul. And then they create the conducive environment in the university. So, thank you.
Thank you. The committee member has been busy signaling me that this is already time for lunch. I think we all agree that there has been the 2 hours of very fruitful conversation between us. I would like to once again give the speakers a big applause. Thank you.